Good morning, everyone. Yes, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Pratiksha, Shiva, Monica. Good morning, Rachel. It's Harsh. I hope everyone can see the screen and as well as the PPT or the PDF, we should call it. In 2 minutes, let's wait for the student to join, then we will start the class. In the meantime, if you want to discuss anything, you are more than welcome. See. Hello, Radha, how are you? And there's a good news. Good news, but good news है we discussed in the earlier class में उस दिन जब हम when we were discussing the issue doubts we had तो मैंने बात की issues से and they have agreed कि हर week हम एक class रखा करेंगे for doubt all the batches that I have taken economy polity whatever may be the case तो हर week अब से एक doubt class हुआ करेगी तो उसमें मजा आ जाएगा later एक दो मिनट वेट करते हैं wait for 1 or 2 minutes the student is still connecting and then we will move on oh my god आज आपको कराने you will get today पिंकी प्रॉमिस मेरा ठीक है कुछ भी हो जाए सबसे पहले आज मैं नोट्स भेजूंगा उसका था ना क्या होता है पीआरआई इज द 5th and 6th शेड्यूल्स है ना पीआरआई का भेजा मुझे याद नहीं आता नहीं
So I have sent you the mail ना तो उस मेल में 4-5 टॉपिक्स हैं उनके बारे में सही कर
किनके बारे में कम अगेन
PRIs municipalities 5th and 6th schedule और लास्ट शायद आपने और subordinate codes हाँ
सबऑर्डिनेट वर्ड्स में हमने कुछ खास नहीं किया था, वो तो जो लक्ष्मीकांत ने वही था मेरे लिए। तो पीआरआईज एंड 1562 का मैं करता हूँ आज बिल्कुल श्योरली है किसी भी कीमत पे। वेरी सॉरी यार, बाकी ये सब गुड न्यूज, द पीपल who have joined Shubham as well. Good news is from now on for all the batches that are taught economics, politics, governance, whatever may be the case, we will have every week there will be a dedicated class for doubt sessions every week. That will be a permanent class. So we have waited sufficiently and sufficient number of students have already joined. So let's start our journey, or shall I call it current event class or revision class, whatever you would like to call it, it's your choice. Again, to remind everyone, कोई भी doubt हो रहा है, if there is any doubt while I am teaching, always you are welcome to ask. ये मत सोचिए कि सर इसमें नहीं बोला आपने तो नहीं, कुछ भी XYZ doubt है, you are always welcome to ask. I am not claiming to know everything, but as far as I know, I will help you. With that note, let us start. So, okay, we are starting from 5th to 11th. PESA Act. In this, first we need to understand the foundation of PESA Act. Again, for example, we have discussed this multiple times. Let me give you a quick glimpse. When India was about to get independence, we had various plans of development. Most important two we will talk about. That is, one was the Gandhian plan, also known as, क्या बोलते हैं गांधी प्लान को? Realize that, but come on, यार, you people can tell me. इतनी बार हमने discuss किया इस बात को. What is the official name of Gandhian plan, also known as? कोई नहीं बोलेगा. Sarvodaya was the concept. Basically, local government plan was it. We always call it village republic. Because that is a difference between a politician and a leader. Nehru, Patel, all these were politicians basically. The true leader, if I will call, is Gandhi. Why? Because he understood India always. The way he understood India, nobody else understood India. I'm not saying that their understanding was nothing, but I'm saying this, it was not the level Gandhi understood India. Gandhi knew that India lives in its villages. Gandhi popularly said this, that India lives in its villages. And so if we really want to develop India, then develop India from bottom to top. From bottom to top. That is from village to union level. Maximum power shall be with the villages, and that is why village republic. And then your, for example, district, block, state, and nation. But said for us that we adopted Nehru-Mali-Lobes plan. Nehru-Mali-Lobes plan, from which 5-year plan? Nehru-Mali-Lobes plan. We adopted in which 5-year? Nobody remember? किस 5-year plan से हमने Nehru-Mali-Lobes plan को adopt किया था? That's all. Second 5-year plan. Remember this, that India was to get independence, there were various developmental plans that were presented to India. India could develop this way, India could develop this way, India could develop that way. So ultimately, I'm going to talk about two. Yes, you're right, Pratiksha. We are talking about two plans. One was Gandhian, other is Nehru. Gandhian plan basically was based on village republic. The Nehruvian plan, which was basically industrialization and all, but it was opposite of Gandhian plan. In the Nehruvian plan, or the Nehru-Mali-Lobes strategy, we call it, the power flew from top to bottom, from union to villages. But Gandhi advocated village to union. In this was the context India was founded basically. After that, as always happens, if you commit a, for example, if you are with somebody, your partner is somebody, you will tolerate that partner to a limit. When things will go bad, you will get nikal lo bhai, ab nahi saha ja raha. That was with the India and the Renewable plan. Ultimately, we realized our mistake, and in 1950s, precisely 1956, in Rajasthan, we laid the foundation of India's village republic in form of PRIs. And after that, it took a very, 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 very long time. By 1993, we established PRI, Panchayati Raj Institution in India, as a part of 73rd and 74th. 73rd and 74th led to the establishment of Panchayati Raj in India, but that is a highly deficient development. Highly deficient, I'm saying. All those people who have covered Panchayati Raj, before that, everyone has the idea about Panchayati Raj. Anyone in the class who has no idea what is Panchayati Raj? Anyone? Pooja has no idea. Okay. Okay. So let me summarize everything again. When India was to get development, there were various plans of development that were proposed. One was Gandhian, the other was Nehru. In Gandhian plan, we had the idea of village republic. Basically, Gandhi said that development should go from bottom to top. The development should go from bottom to top. Village should be the center of development because India lives in its villages. But rather, we adopted Nehruvian plan from second five-year plan, which was basically based on industrialization, centralization kind of thing. So we adopted the other approach, that is union to village. Union will dictate, then state, and ultimately village. That was a wrong idea. Ultimately, in 1950s, we established first Panchayati Raj institution in Rajasthan, and after that, it took us up till 1993 to establish Panchayati Raj. And the amendment to the constitution was 73rd and 74th. The 74th, we established municipalities basically. And 73rd, we established Panchayati Raj. It was a highly deficient system. I will discuss that. So, it was highly deficient, but it did not apply to fifth schedule. It did not apply to fifth schedule state. Now, what is fifth schedule? Basically, these are certain tribal areas. The logic is same. In internal security, you will understand the reason for fifth and sixth schedules. Polity also covers this, but the actual crux of fifth and sixth schedule is in your internal security, especially in context of Northeast India. So the logic was there are certain tribal areas, and I've always said, for example, if your parents dictate you, you will live this way. Forget about everyone else. Your parents only. If your parents say eat this, sleep at this time, wear this clothes, you will tolerate this until unless you are mature enough to revolt. The day you will be mature enough, first thing that you will do is to run away from the house. A lot of students comes to Delhi for the preparation. They can do that from house, but one reason is because they are good coaching institute here. Other reason is also because they want a degree of freedom. The freedom they will never enjoy in their house. That is also, we all crave for freedom. That is not a problem. So we understood that from day one. We understood that the tribal people of India are different, and we did not want to impose on them the modernity as we call it. In that context, we brought this fifth schedule as well as sixth schedule. Sixth schedule is only for your northeastern states. That is, there are only 4 states in sixth schedule. And fifth schedule, there are 10 states. Everything is in the notes. In fifth schedule, there are 10 states. In this state, there are certain areas which basically has kind of autonomy, not independence, autonomy. Sixth schedule, we have something called as autonomous councils. Any point you could not understand, please ask again. In sixth schedule, we have autonomous council. In fifth schedule, we have tribal advisory council. The difference is the autonomous councillors are highly independent. they have legislative power, administrative power, even judicial powers. They can establish their own local courts, which which will which will carry out justice not on the basis of our IPC, CRPC, CPC, whatever may be the thing, but based on local religious and social customs. Based on that, they will work. So highly autonomous, and logic is clear. Good morning, Afifa. A lot of people have just joined. Again, please try to cover time. At least 10 minutes चलता है, लेकिन इतना late मत आया करिए. Try to join at 10 minutes is okay, but 20 minutes is too much. Again, तो यहाँ तक clear है सबको? Let me summarize again. When India got independence, we had two plans of development: Gandhian and Nehruvian. Gandhian was basically village republic, that is bottom to top development. While Nehruvian, as we call it, Nehru Mahalinobus strategy, adopted in second 5-year plan, it was basically top-down development. The center has most power, then state, and then village. A wrong approach, because India lives in its villages. That is what Gandhi understood from day one. In that case, ultimately we realized on the state and we instituted Panchayati Raj to provide self-governance, to bring government near to the people. That was the logic, and same logic applies to 5th and 6th schedule states. In 5th schedule, we have 10 states. In those 10 states, there are certain areas which are tribal dominated. For them, we have provided TACs, Tribal Advisory Councils. These council advises the governor over the issue of governance. If, for example, that local people should have the right to exploit their resources, there should not be presence of any foreigner. Remember this. In this case, foreigner means Indian also. If you are an Indian not living in that tribal area, you are a foreigner for those people. Those people can be excluded. Another is 6th schedule, for which we have autonomous councils. They are highly independent. A tribal advisory council has advisory role. It is not that powerful. But autonomous council are highly powerful. They have legislative, administrative, financial, even judicial powers. And all this thing was done in the name of only one thing: self-governance. Then I will come to the news. If you understand this background, self-governance, in that question, I just want to ask one thing: how you know that government of India is there? For example, if you forget about this newspaper, magazines, and all. For example, you have not, you do not see news, you do not see anything, and you have no idea what is government of India. Then how you will come to know that there is a government of India? I'm asking you, who is the point of contact that will tell you that there is a government of India? Police, exactly. Police. When you go on the road, you see a uniformed person. That person tells you that you live in India and there is a government of India. That person tells you there is a government of state. You do not know the government, but you know the police, and that's why I always say the starting point of self-governance is with the reforms in police. Currently, we have a police that was made by Britishers, and we are continuing with that structure. Indian police is nothing but a tool of the politician to exploit. That's why the khaki of India, it doesn't matter even if you are IPS and anyone, you will not be sufficiently powered to challan the Prime Minister of India for violation of norms. For example, Prime Minister of India does not wear a mask. When the common people of India were fined and beaten by the police on the street, a lot of places were there. This khaki does not have the power, did not have the guts to find the Prime Minister of India or the CM of any state. The reason is police. Police में self-governance. So the counterpart of that is here. 5th and 6th schedule. Clear है सबको? The context of Panchayati Raj, 5th schedule, 6th schedule, and police. Yes, are the soft. Exactly. यहाँ तक clear है सबको? ठीक है. If that is clear, now we will come to the news. Again, this news is not at all important. If you remember this, fine. If you do not remember, that doesn't matter. I will tell you what is important here. Everything that I just told you is written in the notes. I am just summarizing everything before, and आप पढ़ते रहिएगा notes. Okay. With that, PESA Act was brought. PESA Act, or the Panchayat Extension to Scheduled Areas. Panchayat Extension to Scheduled Areas. This act was brought in 1996. Basically, I told you the 73rd and 74th Amendment did not apply to the tribal area or the fifth scheduled areas. So it basically extended the 73rd and 74th to the tribal areas known as the fifth scheduled areas. In that context, recently Chhattisgarh has made this Panchayat Extension to Scheduled Areas or PESA Rules 2022. Under that, it has provided that there shall be 50% of the members of Gram Sabhas shall be from tribal community. Out of this, 25% shall be female members. Stopping at this Gram Sabha. Gram Sabha means, basically Gram Sabha means everyone who is in the territory of a panchayat. For example, there is a village panchayat. Again, remember this, it may have one village or multiple villages. For example, if there are small villages, then 2 or 3 villages can be combined and all those villages can have one village panchayat. But all the people living in those villages will be the part of Gram Sabha. It is like a parliament at local level. What we have generally is, we elect our MPs who constitute parliament. Out of these MPs, few people become the part of council of ministers. And out of council of ministers, few people are the part of cabinet. That is the structure. Same goes here. You can consider this MP wala part as Gram Sabha. This council of minister wala part you can consider as village panchayat. And this cabinet wala part you can consider as sarpanch or the chairperson. Analogy is clear. This is the comparison you can do. Clear the word Gram Sabha to everyone? So I am again saying it's a very, very good rule. अच्छा है. Again, self-governance is the key. Without self-governance, revolutions happen. If, for example, I told you in your family, if your parents subjugate you by dictating you how you will live, how you will eat, how you will sleep, which person you will meet with, you will tolerate that until unless you are sufficiently empowered, especially you get a job. The day you will get a job, now you will revolt against your own parents. When you can revolt against a person who feeds you, who basically nourished you, then imagine the government of India. We can revolt against government of India also. And that is why we have always self-governance. This is the key for everything I'm telling you. Having done that, this is the crux of the news. Now, what you have to cover. First, you need to know what is 73rd and 74th. Few important provisions and weakness in that. Second, you need to know what is PESA Act and what is PESA Act, what is the provision, what is the difference between 73rd, 74th and PESA Act. Second. Third thing, you need to know what is fifth schedule and what is sixth schedule. Fourth thing, you need to know why they were brought. Fifth, the difference between these two. And lastly, the status of PESA Act. That is, I have here. Out of the 10 states that are in PESA, I have listed them all. Only 7 states have implemented rules for PESA. Means there are still 3 states without any PESA rules. Meaning we have a PESA Act, but still the state people, they are the people living, does not enjoy sufficient liberty. Very bad state of affairs. Clear everyone? Any issue? Again, it's a summary kind of. हम डिटेल में नहीं जा सकते. That will be your quality teacher will teach you. Any question in anyone's mind, you can ask. Okay, no one is asking. I'm assuming no questions. Everything I have listed here, for example, what is schedule, what are the provisions, status of implementation. Again, this news per se is not important, but other things that I've told you are important. Then I have listed here PESA Act and power provided to Gram Sabha under PESA Act. This is the most important thing. Most important. Whosoever will teach you polity will tell you that in 73rd and 74th, there was a committee by the name of Manish Shankar. The various report, this was the latest report. This committee has simply said that it is better to have no PRI than bad PRI. Logic simple. Logic is that having bad PRI unjustify the PRI. So better abolish PRIs. Any question? 3F वाला logic बिल्कुल सही रहा 3F वाला. That is fund, function, or functionalist. 3F. Basically, you have to transfer fund to the PRIs, then functions to the PRI funds, and to use that fund functions and functionaries. That is the logic of 3F. Clear to everyone? Any issue, any dispute, anything you want to ask? No? Sure. Next, we have come to electricity amendment bill. Whosoever will teach you polity will tell you this, but we will have an understanding. First, we need to understand the energy. There is a chapter in polity for economy about energy sector of India. There you will study this, and it is an addition to that. As I've always said, this is a current event come revision class. So we are going to revise something. Currently, we have a production company, for example, NTPC. They produce electricity. These production company then supply that electricity to a transmission company and that to a distribution company. This distribution company are two types. One is private, as we have in Delhi. Delhi we have private distribution company by the name of BSCS. I think that is Reliance or Ambani owned. Other is public company or government company. This we also know them by the name of DISCOMs or distribution companies. This company ultimately supply electricity to you. So this is the process: production, transmission, distribution, and you. This is what is the issue? The issues that we face in energy sectors are first issue is here, from this place to this place, known as the transmission loss. Okay, we all know one thing about this. Screen. What happened? The screen is not visible. Not visible. Yeah, I am sharing this. Now is it visible, Radha? Let's resume the study. So, Electricity Amendment Bill 2022. In this, we will understand the provision. First, we need to understand the context in which these provisions have been brought. Okay, we have a production company that transfers electricity basically to a transmission company. The infrastructure you have seen on the roads. In the roads, you have seen the overhead cables that go. They are basically for transmission, owned by a transmission company. Then comes the DISCOMs. We have two kinds: private and public. Private, for example, in Delhi, they are private companies. Public, for example, UP, Bihar, they are private public DISCOMs. And then they supply electricity to you. This is the process. What are the issues here? First issue, transmission loss. From production company to you, there are too many transmission loss. And the reason we know, because energy it converts itself. For example, I am using this hand now. So in my cells, in my board, in my head, there are cells. In those cells, we have something called as ATP. Endocyl your science and tech teacher will teach you. Endocyl triphosphate, basically kind of energy. Whatever food we eat, they convert into energy, and that energy is converting currently kinetic energy. So energy conversion takes place. Here, electricity is a kind of energy. When it transmits to the transmission line, there are too many losses: heat losses, friction losses, there are number of kind of losses. So this is the first problem. There is transmission loss. First thing. Second issue comes is Second issue is here. The issue is you have one distribution company per area. For example, in Delhi, you have BSCS Yamuna. BSCS Yamuna. It's a Ambani-owned company. So this company is a discom that provides electricity in your area. So you do not have the liberty to switch company because there is one company in that area. So by this, for example, if BSCS Yamuna charges 20 rupees for electricity, you have to pay. But you can do, you have no other company. Though they do not charge because government of India is very sensitive about it and the states also. Electricity is a basic necessity. Na? But for example, if they can, because of being a monopoly. That is the second issue. Third issue is with respect to discounts. This I'm talking about discounts. There are a lot of places. Discounts. The problem with the discounts that we face is there are certain problems. First problem is they are under losses. And why they are under losses? Because of the state governments. The state governments does not allow this discounts to raise the prices. Why? Simple logic. If the price of electricity is more, the people will protest against the government and the government fear vote bank loss. So they do not allow them to raise the price. Cost of electricity is rising, but discounts rates are not rising. They do not rise, and there can be a counter. The counter is the state government can provide subsidy. I've said multiple times, governments are not meant to generate profit. They are not at all. That's the difference between government and a private company. Private company runs on profit. The government, the government runs on welfare of the people. So what happens is state government says to the discoms, do not raise the electricity price. I will provide you the subsidy, whatever may be the cost. But most of the state does not. They promises, they do not fulfill the promises. Simple logic है ना. MLA भी तो खरीदने होते हैं. सरकार बनाने के लिए MLA खरीदना important है या discoms को पैसे देना? MLA खरीदना important है. So they will spend more on MLA purchasing. वो तो चलता रहेगा. For example, बहुत अच्छा केस हुआ था. We have seen this Maharashtra case. The MLAs of the Maharashtra were sitting in Assam. There was flood in Assam. The people of Assam were going out of hunger. They were witnessing a flood with hunger. But government at that point of time is spending lakhs of rupees on those MLAs. This is democracy we have. कि वहाँ पे लोग भूख से मर रहे हैं उस स्टेट में वहाँ पे आप MLAs को 5 स्टार में रुका के पैसे खर्च कर रहे हो. That is the thing, ना? Government can pay to the discoms, but then they think कि MLA buying is a better proposition. So that is the thing. So subsidy has to be buy. Discom समझ में आया सबको? All the three issues are clear: transmission loss, single distribution company, and discom. Clear to everyone? Cool. If that is clear, now we will move on. Arey yaar, what happened? Screen is visible. PDF is visible. Okay. So in that context, we have brought this electricity amendment. This is the context. Government of India tried a lot. Currently, we produce. Give me a second. Currently, we produce around 300 gigawatt of electricity. Out of this, 200 gigawatt is produced by fossil fuels. That is the current status, more or less. What is the problem? There is certain problem. We have discussed three problems: transmission, discoms, and single distribution company. So under this act, government has tried to do a very beautiful thing, I will say. In this, you can praise Modi government, no doubt about that. What they are doing is they are dividing this structure. We have production company, then we have transmission company, and then we have distribution company. After this, another company will be added, known as the supplier company, and then it will be. And this supplier company can be numerous. In same area, there could be supplier company 1, supplier company 2, supplier company 3, supplier company 4. Supplier company 4. By this logic, for example, you have mobile phones. In mobile phones, you simply have prepaid accounts. You simply, if you do not like Jio, you will switch to Vodafone. If you do not like Vodafone, you will switch to your Airtel. Same will happen here. There will be numerous companies in the same area, and all companies can supply to you. Good provision. Basically, logic is there will be competition among companies, and always remember, with competition comes advantage for the consumer. It is a very good provision. Good provision. Second issue is respect to transmission losses. So government is also trying to cover transmission losses, mandating that there shall be infrastructure investment. The money that is being taken by the companies, they cannot put them into frivolous accounts and use them for transmission improvement. Third thing, with respect to discoms. Government is trying to mandate that if state governments makes a promise to a discom, I will pay you the subsidy, they must pay the subsidy. If they will not, they will be penalized, kind of. So good provisions. सुनने में good लगता है. ठीक है. Now let us read the provision itself. Any issue? सबको समझ में आया? What is the issue and what we are government is trying to do with this bill? If you have any question, you can ask. Okay, if that is clear, now I told you multiple discom in the same area, you understand the logic. There will be a commission, a proper commission to fix the minimum as well as the maximum tariff. Meaning, because there will be competition among supplier companies, so what will happen is they can go to any extent to high or low. For example, Jio. When Jio came in, Jio provided everything for free. It was an unfair trade practice. And in that you need to say, मुझे समझ नहीं आता कि हमारी Competition Commission of India कहाँ से हो रही. We did talk about Competition Commission of India in earlier classes. Anyone remember? The competition, it is a responsibility of CCI to ensure that nobody do unfair trade practices. That's why competition is ensured. But what has happened? Look at this. Jio came in. Jio provided everything for free. That was an unfair trade practice. Because of Jio, a lot of people lost. Because there were numerous companies, 7 to 8 companies, I believe. All of the companies got shut down. Now we have 3 companies: Jio, Airtel, and the Vodafone Idea. Out of this, Vodafone Idea is highly distressed. It is almost bankrupt. Almost, I'm saying, not completely, but almost bankrupt. That is why there was a time when you do not have to recharge for your incoming. Now you have to do monthly recharges, and all companies have raised the charges. It is a scenario of monopoly, but you can call it duopoly. That is what we want to avoid. A company should not have too much power, and I blame directly Competition Commission of India. It should have ensured that Jio's free scheme should not be there, because they were violating everything. A lot of companies will go bankrupt. Same applies here. This commission will ensure that no company will go for unfair trade practices. That's why there will be a minimum and a maximum tariff. Okay, next is cross subsidy fund. जियो है किसकी आखिर. अब दिस इज द प्रॉब्लम. अब क्या बोले इस पे, नहीं करना चाहिए था, बहुत गलत था. It was a very wrong practice, and who are the sufferers? You and I are the sufferers. Previously, we do not have to recharge for incoming. Now imagine a rickshaw puller, a small rickshaw puller who is earning 100 rupees a day. मैं कहता हूँ 500 rupees a day. Now you are asking that person to do a 250 rupee recharge for a month. If that person does not recharge, a lot of time they are unable to recharge. Their cell phone will die. And those persons are coming from rural areas. They live in urban areas to earn a wage so that they can support their family in the rural areas. Now, how will they communicate with the rural area? It's a mental agony. Government को सोचना चाहिए, गलत है. यार आप कमेंट में कह सकते हो ना, nobody watches the comment. मुझे इतिहास से जाने का शौक नहीं है. Anyway, so again, I'm blaming CCI. If you're an institution, you should do something. Otherwise, leave the job. हाँ यही मैं बोलने वाला था. Now we will come to, अभी हम discussing the, तो देखिए everyone understood the context. Good provisions are there. ऐसा नहीं है कि the bill is absolutely no good provision. Modi government, you can praise Modi government for this very good provision of multiple discount, very good provision of a commission, but I expect that this commission shall be independent. अब ये थोड़ा हमें नहीं पता है. Otherwise it will be like Competition Commission of India, and somebody will go unfair trade practices, they will be quiet. So I hope that will be independent. If that is an independent commission, good provision. Last is cross balancing fund. In this what is happening is cross balancing fund में क्या होगा? But the currently government doing it charges more to the commercial companies, they charge more. From that money they subsidize the residential and farmers. Farmers and residential people get a very low tariff and commercial get a high tariff. But lot of time government क्या करती है? What the state government do is they take the money from commercial and then they used to buy MLAs. ठीक है? Rather than giving that money to this residential and farmers, they the discoms will provide a lower subsidy, lower prices. The government are supposed to give them the money, but then they use here and there. So for that we have mandated this across subsidy balancing fund. Very good provision. You can praise Modi government on these 3 points: the multiple discounts, appropriate commission, and cross subsidy. Clear everyone? These are the good provisions. Now we will come to apprehensions. ठीक है? Again है renewable purchase obligation. देखिए in economics UPSC ask about economic concepts, so focus on concepts. This is one of that. Renewable purchase obligation. Basically, for example, I am a company X. I produce 10 gigawatt of electricity. So under renewable purchase obligation, either I will produce around 2 gigawatt by natural renewable sources like solar, water, or air. Either I will do this, or I will purchase this 2 gigawatt from a company Y who is producing renewable energy, and that is known as renewable purchase obligation. Term is clear to everyone? Renewable purchase obligation. Okay, so all these four provisions are very good. I am saying very, very, very good. Now, after understanding this provision, remember this renewable purchase obligation term, important. UPSC may ask what. Acha, Harsh is saying one second. Let me repeat again. Yes, Sarah. Repeat करता हूँ मैं. Okay, let me repeat again. Last point go. Let's look at it again. So basically, what I am saying is, बहुत पहला आपका tariff policy and a lot of things are there. शुरू हो रहा है. चलो उसमें देखते हैं. Renewable purchase obligation. For example, I am a company X. I am a indeed you are good thing. I am a company X. I produce 10 gigawatt of electricity, but that electricity is from fossil fuels like coal, gas, and other kind of things. Okay, those are non-renewable. Government of India is trying to switch from non-renewable to renewable sources of energy. Non-renewable to renewable. If you remember from earlier current event class, we did talk about nuclear energy program of Government of India. That is also a part and parcel of this. They all you have to look in one integrated manner. So in that, X 10 gigawatt electricity from fossil sources. Okay. So under renewable purchase obligation, either I will produce 2 gigawatt. Out of 10 gigawatt, I will produce at least 2 gigawatts of electricity through renewable sources. For example, solar, air, your wind turbines are there, or water, whatever may be the case, but renewable source. If I am unable to do this, then I will buy this amount of electricity from a company Y, which produce electricity through renewable sources. And that is known as renewable purchase obligation. Now, is it clear to everyone? So all the four provisions of this bill are very good. They will indeed help India to move toward इसमें लिखा है ना राधा, the provision, of course the government is making it compulsory. For example, tariff वगैरह में आता है तो rules. It is written here, Harsh, the thing that you are asking. As per the bill, the central government will provide a minimum value of RPO, मतलब renewable purchase obligation. Minimum you have to purchase, otherwise you will face penalty. It's compulsory. ठीक है राधा and Harsh. चलो, तो आई होप ऑल द 4 points are clear. तो वी हैव अंडरस्टूड, एक्चुअली हमने पूरा रिवाइज ही कर लिया इलेक्ट्रिसिटी वाला चैप्टर. तो वी हैव अंडरस्टूड द इश्यूज, ठीक है. वी हैव अंडरस्टूड व्हाट द गवर्नमेंट इज थिंकिंग ऑफ डूइंग एंड वी अंडरस्टूड few concepts. Most important, renewable purchase obligation. After that, I want to teach you few or more concepts. The second concept is captive power plant. ये क्या होता है? What is this, Rama? Let us look at it. This all is the part of the electricity or energy chapter in economics, paper 3 basically, GS paper 3. So in that, they have captive power plant. Under Electricity Act 2003, we have captive power plant generation. Suppose I am Reliance. Okay, being Reliance, I have a lot of energy consumption and I want 24-hour electricity, say for example. A government of India is unable to provide me that. So what I will do is I will establish my own power plant. That will be exclusively my power plant. I do not have to depend on government. I can establish my own power plant. And I'm a Reliance. I have a lot of money, so I can do that. And that is known as captive power plant. Why captive? Because it is my own plant, and I will use its electricity exclusively for my purpose only. Clear captive power plant term? Another term is open access policy. Under Electricity Act, it provides anyone with a load of above 1 megawatt. If you have above 1 megawatt load, so what government thought is we have to reduce the price of this power, electricity, because electricity is the new oil. Everything is going electrified. Your industries, your cars, everything is electrified. So the place that oil had once upon a time is being replaced by electricity. So in that context, we thought we will have power exchanges. Just the way we have a stock exchange, you go to stock exchange, you buy the stock of a company, you sell the stock of a company. Same will be the power exchange. Here there will be discom companies, there will be a transmission company, there will be a production company, and we will have negotiations. I will have numerous production. And I will look at कौन मुझे better price देता है. I will look at who gives me better price, and that is known as open access policy. बात clear है? What is open access? Anyone who could not understand? Just saying repeat. Okay. Again, open access policy under Electricity Act 2003. Basically, logic was, for example, currently in Delhi, I have to take electricity from BSES. Okay, I have a small factory, say for example, which is of 2 megawatt. 2 megawatt is a very small amount. I have a small factory in which I produce, I produce shoes, and for that my machines require around 2 megawatt of electricity. Around 2 megawatt. I go to BSES and tell them, please give me electricity. They charge me, first of all, they charge me a hefty fee because they are the only company providing electricity in my locality, as we discussed earlier. So I have to depend on them. And even after that, they are unable to provide 24-hour electricity. To do away with this problem, government thought we should have something, and that is open access. Rather than buying electricity from BSES, I will go to the production company directly. That production company will be available at power exchanges. The way we have share market, create a parallel here. Share market. In share market, there are numerous companies who have their shares in the market. You go to the share market, you buy the share of a company, and you become the part owner of the company. Same will happen here. In power exchanges, there will be a lot of companies, power production companies, transmission companies. I, as a consumer, small factory, I will go to this power exchange, and there I will look if which company is providing me power at what price, and whichever company I will like, I will buy electricity from that company only. अब clear हुआ what is open access? ठीक है, that was the logic. So देखिए, we understood few concepts here. We understood renewable purchase obligation, captive power plant, and power exchanges with open access policy. Okay, these are the provisions which are good provision, but no, they are not implemented because state governments have a tendency to destroy everything. What they do is they do unchanging, they levy additional charges. For example, in power exchange, I get 10 rupee electricity, 10 rupee per unit. BSES gave me for 20 rupees. So I will go for power exchange, but because state government put additional surcharges, this tax, that tax, so this will come to 20 rupees. So why I will go to a power exchange जबकि मुझे BSES भी 20 रुपए में दे रहा है? So that is the problem. State government impose unsaid barriers. Basically, this cost subsidy charges, additional charges. So power exchange are not very functional in India. They should have, but they are not. This is the issue. Clear issue? So we have discussed a lot of things about electricity. We understood production. We understood issue in electricity distribution and all. Then we understood Electricity Act 2003. Then we understood amendment. Up now, issue with the amendment. Why people are protesting against this? I have listed everything. You can read by your own. Issue with the bill. First issue is electricity is a state subject. Up that states are protesting. For example, Mamata Banerjee. Mamata Banerjee does not like Modi's face. It's a known fact. She does not like Modi's face basically. So she will resist this bill, howsoever good this will be. She will resist. She will simply say, you are impinging on state power. Same as the logic with the farm laws. The bill may be good or bad, but the problem is electricity is a state subject, the state is bound to resist. So it is not, I would say it's a political aspect. So it's not very important. This is severe. That's why we are having protests. The thing is privatization of distribution company. If you remember, I told you, there will be a production company, transmission company, and then distribution, and then supplier. What will happen? There is an apprehension. Over time, this supplier, which will be private, remember, government will not be there. This supplier will, over time, replace the distribution. They will directly buy electricity from purchasing company through open access or through captive plant, whatever may be the case. They will directly buy electricity from this. Over time, distribution companies, which are government companies, will die naturally. So ultimately, it is a buy route for privatization. Sabko clear hua why there is apprehension of privatization here? Rather, electricity is very essential. I suggest government should provide subsidy on electricity to all consumer, commercial today, because today inflation is very high and people are suffering. I'm telling you, people are still suffering. I don't know. I did talk about you with you in this class or not. There was a very popular news. There was a person who was working in a very prominent hotel. From there, he used to become a Zomato supplier. Zomato, you have this food supplier. He was a manager in that hotel. He was earning not less than 60,000-70,000. From that, he became a Zomato boy, and ultimately he died in a car accident. A very sad story. He was the only person earning in his family, and it is one story out of millions. India is reeling under hunger, malnutrition, joblessness. India is very severely damaged economically, and that's why government of India, you know what they are doing. That some movement is starting divergent tactics. See, that's the logic. When you cannot give food, give them religion or nationalism. Anyway, वो तो डिटेल में नहीं बोल सकते, but you understand. तो प्रॉब्लम है प्राइवेटाइजेशन का. अगेन द इशू इज दिस बैकडोर एंट्री टू मोनोपोलाइजेशन. हमने बात की थी, we did discuss about that telecom sector, how Jio basically destroyed various companies. I think for Jio it is not bad. because Jio wanted to establish itself, they provided three things. It was, I believe, only Competition Commission of India and the government of India both. It was their responsibility to ensure that not a single company, किसी की भी हो, मैं कहता हूँ राहुल गांधी की कंपनी क्यों ना हो, even the Rahul Gandhi's own company should not have the power to monopolize the economy, and that is the fear that is here. I told you there will be numerous supply companies. Imagine a company 4 have links to government of India or government of any state. Say for example, government of West Bengal, Mamata Banerjee's company. So there is a fear over time this private company will become a monopoly in the area. So these are fears. I hope government can address them. The Shubham, the example you said. Clear है सबको? What are the issues with this bill? Any question you have in mind, you can ask. अभी recently एक article published हुआ है, very good article about analyzing India's democracy at 75 years. ठीक है, तो that analyze कि even after 75 years of independence, if India becomes world's poverty capital, तो ऐसे विश्व गुरु को हम क्या करें? सीधा सा लॉजिक ये है. We should be more concerned about the hunger and malnutrition. ठीक है, calling yourself a wish guru will not work until unless you have hunger. And I am blaming everyone, including the Congress governments 50 years ago. They all are responsible for this. Nobody is spared. बहुत अच्छी चीज है. You need to know. I think UPSC may ask this because 75 years of independence, so they may ask the analysis of India's achievement, economic and political. Politically, you can say India is working more or less fine. Economically, you can say India is in dark place. Up, ye term. I have included this only for one purpose. In previous class, we discussed about that personal data protection law. Everyone remembers that? We had a big debate, 1 hour debate on that. But the thing is, in earlier class, I was unable to give you a name for that. And now we have the name, techno-nationalism. A very good name. The earlier class we discussed now how this manipulation is working, how Donald Trump rose to power, how the social media, they work on behest of particular ideology. When you say, I am hungry, they say, look at that person, that is saying something to particular community, you are from particular community. समझ रहे हैं ना? मीडिया हर वक्त हिंदू मुसलमान करवाती है. The current media, they do Hindu and Muslim every time, India, Pakistan. When you say there was a report, particular report, when you hunger and inflation is increasing in India, they were showing that hunger is increasing in Pakistan, inflation is increasing in Pakistan. And मुझे क्या फर्क पड़ता है? पाकिस्तान कल का मरता है, आज मर जाए, मुझे क्या मतलब? All I care about is my country. My people should live with sufficient economic capacity. They should not be unemployed. They should have sufficient food. The women should have security. Those things should be concerned, and that is techno-nationalism. So everything we discussed in earlier class about personal data protection bill and everything around it, now you have a name for it, and that is techno-nationalism. Word clear है सबको? You remember the earlier class? Yeah, technology to advance nationalist agenda, and the example is the thing that is Har Ghar Tiranga. This report is in that context. Though Har Ghar Tiranga that is being taken place now, this news in that context. I'm really sorry. Again, let me repeat. सबको याद है this thing that we were talking about in earlier class, the influence of social media and all. They are leading to rise of soft dictators like Donald Trump, Viktor Orban, your Duterte, and somebody else. Yes, Samuel P. Huntington we talked about and all. So this is what it is saying, techno-nationalism. That is the use of technology to advance nationalist agenda. Basically, Har Ghar Tiranga is the part of it. I'm not criticizing Har Ghar Tiranga. I'm just saying it is a part of a digital advancement to promote a strong national identity. Har Ghar Tiranga. Clear है सबको? And the earlier debate we had yesterday, we can summarize all that into one word: techno-nationalism. Use this word exhaustively in your main writing. By now, any issue in the I think 3 news we covered, na? Three news we covered. Any issue with any news? Bully guys, any issue? नहीं है. So with that note, we will have a 5 minutes के लिए थोड़ा रेस्ट ले लेते हैं, mental rest, and we will meet back at 10 minutes ले लेते हैं, and 12:45 we will meet again. Okay? Again मिलेंगे, जाना नहीं. Revision class है, revision करो. चलो. ओके, वेलकम बैक। सब लोग हैं जल्दी छुट्टी हुए मास बंक। present. Having done that, so early news that we have to deal with recognition of minority level. Yes, Ada, you want to ask something?
Sorry, sir.
Cool. Recognition of minority district level. Okay, basically for that we need to know Article 29 and 30. Article 29 and 30 basically provides rights of minority. In that, remember this, Article 29 is available to both minority as well as majority. Supreme Court has said that. Again, Article 29 provides protection to things: distinct language, script, and culture. LSC. Yes, script, language, and culture. These three things are protected basically under Article 29, and they are available to both the minority as well as majority. For example, if I ask you, a Hindu living in Jammu and Kashmir, is that a minority? Radha is saying no. Yes. Radha is saying yes. Okay, again she's saying yes. You're saying yes. Yes, that is a minority. Always remember why we know this. It is in notes. I'm just summarizing. There is a TMA Pi case. There is a particular case by the name of TMA Pi. In TMA Pi case, Supreme Court has said clearly, yes, state decides. Supreme Court said that states are the unit to decide the minority status. So having said that, Jammu Kashmir Hindus are minority, but they must be recognized by this. Acha, in earlier Saturday we did discuss about this issue, I believe. है ना? हमने डिस्कस किया. चलो फिर तो आपको सब पता ही होगा. Again, चलो थोड़ा सा रिवाइज कर लेते हैं. Let's revise a bit. So minority as well as majority basically. Now you need to tell me one thing. Do you have fundamental right to property? नहीं, सबको ये बात एग्री करते हैं that we do not have fundamental right to property. It was substituted by 44th amendment to a constitutional right. Legal constitutional right, you can say that. Not a fundamental but a constitutional. That is what I wanted to say. Under Article 30, there is fundamental right to property. That's the biggest difference, and it's a beautiful difference. For example, a Tamil person, a person who is speaking Tamil living in Delhi is a minority, and that person can avail Article 29 and 30 both. If that Tamil person established a school in India to teach Tamil to Hindi people, Tamil, that school is protected by fundamental right to property. Beautiful thing, very, very, very beautiful thing. Okay, so that there are certain people associated with certain parties. They always say that we should abolish Article 29 and 30. It is minority appeasement. अब उन्हें कौन समझाए कि it is not minority appeasement. This right is available to everyone, every Indian. A Hindu living in Jammu Kashmir is as much as a minority as a Muslim living in Delhi, for example. They can avail similar rights. This right is not person specific. It is for everyone. और राजा सुना है ना आपने, एक चीज बोली जाती है, एक अनपढ़ से ज्यादा खतरनाक आधा पढ़ा होता है. तो these people are half literate. हाँ, ये भी लॉजिक सही है. नहीं, शुभम, द थिंग इज जो लोअर लेवल पे लोग हैं ना, दे बिलीव, दे आर नॉट, दे डू नॉट. जो अपर लेवल के लोग हैं, दे नो दिस. हाँ, उन्हें पता होता है, वो लोअर लेवल के लोगों को गलत बताते हैं. Anyway, whatever may be the case, but this is the thing, very beautiful, right? It protects everybody. So now what is the issue? The issue is in the same case that I have listed here. In Kerala education bill case, Supreme Court had rejected that minorities cannot be determined at the block or district level, which I believe is a bad judgment, very bad judgment. I still believe that district should be the label to determine minority. Why? For example, in Tamil Nadu, people speaking Tamil are not minority. They are not minority, but there may be a district in Tamil Nadu, maybe a district in Tamil Nadu or a block in Tamil Nadu where Hindi speaking or Malayalam speaking, it is near to Tamil Nadu, Malayalam speaking people are in majority. So in that case, if one or two Tamil families are there, they do not enjoy the protection of Article 29 and 30. This is again the same bad logic. We discussed the village republic. You compare it with that. Village or the local level should be the center. I still believe that block and district should be the determination level of minority. Very good, because by this we can effectively protect minority. Again, another thing you can think, there are certain, for example, again the thing is, for example, Tamil Nadu. In Tamil Nadu, Tamil speaking people are in majority. They are not in minority. So they cannot avail Article 29 and 30. Simple logic. They cannot avail 30. 29 is for everyone, but they cannot avail Article 30. Article 30 provides that the minority can establish education institution to propagate their language or religion, and that institution will have fundamental right to property. That is not available anywhere in the constitution, in fundamental right chapter. So what happened, for example, in Tamil Nadu, there is a district in which Malayalam speaking people, Kerala is a Malayalam speaking people are more, and Tamil speaking people may be in minority. But because district is not a label to recognize minority, then the Tamil speaking people in that district will not enjoy fundamental right to property, and that is the problem. Again, let's take an example, different example. There are various tribals in India. Who are very minute. They are not all India present. They do not have presence at the level state also. So if that tribal person, for example, living in UP, there's a tribal population in UP, they want to establish an education institution only for tribes, their own tribal language, whatever that may be. But because the state is the level of unit, a lot of tribal peoples are not recognized. But if they could be recognized now as a lingual minority in district, not at state level, but in district where they are present, then it will help them a lot to propagate their own language. So again, language is a very important thing. That's why yahan tak kisi ko bachche the article which says primary education should be in lingual mother language. What is the article? 230. थोड़ा सा इधर उधर हो गया. 350, yes. कोई नहीं, आर्टिकल याद नहीं. अगेन देखिए आर्टिकल का आपको क्या करना है, बट यू हैव टू डू इज जब प्रीलिम्स हो ना और मेंस हो, तो बिफोर दैट 2 months, प्रीलिम्स से 2 months बिफोर स्टार्ट रॉट लर्निंग ऑल द आर्टिकल्स. विद इन 2 months यू विल रिमेंबर आर्टिकल सफिशिएंटली टू राइट इन प्रीलिम्स. उससे पहले अभी पढ़ोगे, याद रटोगे ना, तो आप भूल जाओगे. आर्टिकल थोड़ा वैसा टीडीएस काम होता है, तो बेटर 2 महीने पहले करना. एनीवे, सो क्लियर है सबको इशू. एंड उसके बाद इफ यू रिमेंबर, नेशनल कमीशन फॉर माइनॉरिटी, Government of India brought National Commission for Minority Act. Under this, it recognized minorities at the level of union. Hindu के अलावा ये Muslim, Christian and all, they are minority. So now we should summarize everything. First, at the level of union, the minorities are determined under National Commission of Minority Act, not under Article 29 and 30. At the level of states, minorities are determined under Article 29 and 30. At the level of district, there is no determination of minority. Clear? ठीक है, तीनों लेवल याद रखिएगा. बाकी I have listed everything here. This cases IBT, NMR, KMFI, Kerala Education Bill, जो reject करता है minority at the global level, everything is listed here. You can read it. Right? The same argument. Now recalling Quit India movement. Because recently government of India is celebrating 75th independence, and also it happens to be the 80th year. This year happens to be the 80th year of Quit India movement. Quit India movement को समझने से पहले we need to understand something. Do you remember Woodrow Wilson's speech I talked about? Very important point in IR. Very important point in IR. Anyone who does not remember Woodrow Wilson? Rather, you don't remember? यार हमने बहुत बार बात की. Nitin also does not remember. Woodrow Wilson's speech, 14-point speech. There were 14 principles in this. नहीं आता काफी लोगों को, चलो कोई नहीं. So Woodrow Wilson gave a 14-point speech. It laid the foundation of today's world. The world that you enjoy, which has United Nations, World Bank, IMF, your WTO, and your freedom of navigation, your self-determination, all the principles that you observe at international relations are laid in this speech. Very important part of IR. Very, very, very important part of IR. Even for nationalism movement, basically. So, therefore, 14 principles in this, I am going to discuss one principle, that is self-determination. Again, it's a very important speech. If you have not covered it in IR or anywhere, please cover it. Cover all the 14 points. What are those 14 points? What is the significance? What is the issue? Please cover that. Very, very, very important. We are discussing one point, self-determination. Basically, what happened? It was given in 1970. There was World War I going on. World War I was going on. There was on one side you had country like UK, USA. On other hand, you have central powers. Basically, or just Germany, Italy, these kind of countries. Basically, this was the war going on. At that point of time, UK and US. So, for example, if you are fighting with somebody, you would like to have that person's friend. You will try to influence that person's friend so that those come to your side and you become the victorious. Same thing was done by US, UK by 14-point speech. In 14-point speech, Woodrow Wilson, the president of USA at that point of time, gave the speech in this one principle was self-determination. Basically means that the people of a territory will decide their nationality. Again, the people of a territory will decide their nationality. For example, Indians living on a territory named India will decide what will be the future of India. That is self-determination. Now, you can even apply this principle to lower personal level also. For example, LGBT. A woman deciding to love another woman, lesbian, is her self-determination. A male deciding to love another male, gay basically, her or his right of self-determination. Tamil people deciding not to learn Hindi, right of self-determination. Northeastern people deciding to preserve their natural identity. For example, Assam movement that was against this foreign invasion, right of self-determination. Clear ho gaya, sir? Very important principle. Clear, everyone? Okay, so please, I am again saying, cover Woodrow Wilson 14-point speech in detail. All the principles, cover every single principle of 14-point in detail. UPSC will not ask a direct question on this ever, but you can use this point anywhere in governance, polity, ethics, society. कहीं भी आप भेज सकते हैं points. That's why I'm saying. अब come to our news. What happened is this principle of self-determination was propounded, and Indians. That is why we supported First World War. Indians supported First World War. You will study that in modern history. The reason was because of this principle. We said that UK and US is saying that once the war will end, they will allow us self-determination. So we said, yeah, अच्छा principle, let's adopt it. But then they belied the principle. It always happens, when you try to win over the enemy's friend. Oh, your enemy's friend, you promises them a lot. For example, in election, every party promises unchanged. They know they cannot fulfill those promises, but they do this. Why? So that you vote them. 3 B's नहीं और भी reason होते हैं. For example, there is a very popular statement given by your Home Minister Amit Shah. He was popularly said in a news channel कि ये जुमला है. He said कि जब उसने पूछा कि सर you promised this and that, आप you are not fulfilling. He said ये जुमला है. इलेक्शन में बहुत सी बातें बोली जाती हैं जिन्हें करना नहीं होता. He himself said that. So there could be a lot of things. A lot of things could be part of that. So self-determination was a jumla basically, propounded by UK and US. And this was basically so that all the countries support UK, US in the name of self-determination. We also did that, but then they belied us. So that's why in Second World War, we did not support them. That was the logic. We did not support them in Second World War. That is the involvement of Second World War without prior consultation from India. The reason was, समझे ना, in First World War they promised self-determination, we supported them, then they belied the principle, so we said अब देखो तुम्हें हम बताते हैं. Simple सा logic था. So that is what happened here. British government included Indian forces in the World War II, and we were like, yeah, you did not ask us. We were simply like, give us independence first. Give us independence, then we will decide we want to participate in World War II or not. But British said after war. That is all this Cripps mission. Cripps mission promised dominion status, but after war. बिना पूछे. The Cripps mission came to India. It was a mission sent by the Britishers to secure cooperation of Indians in the World War II. ठीक है, तो that mission promised us self-dominion status, meaning we will stay a dominion of. वो सिंपल सी बात है, आप फ्रीडम के लिए लड़ रहे हो, हमें आजादी दो. बट देखिए, पॉलिटिशियन आई ऑलवेज सेड इज अ डिफरेंट क्लास. दे आर द born hypocrite. ठीक है, पॉलिटिशियन हिपोक्रेसी कम्स टुगेदर. ठीक है, तो लीव दैट असाइड. सो ओहो, वेरी गुड शुभम. मैकेवली, ड्यूल मोरालिटी. अरे यार, प्रिंसिपल्स कमाल के हैं. आई लव इट. एनीवे, सो डोमिनियन स्टेटस बेसिकली, डोमिनियन स्टेटस की प्रॉमिस हुआ क्रिप्स मिशन में. हमने कहा नहीं करेंगे, एंड दे वर्ल्ड वॉर 2 दे फोर्सफुली इंडक्टेड इंडियंस इन द वर्ल्ड वॉर 2. अल्टीमेटली द क्विट इंडिया मूवमेंट स्टार्टेड. एंड नाउ व्हाई आई एम डिस्कसिंग दिस फॉर few important points. Remember, there were phases of quit India movement. First was non-violent, then Gandhi and other Congress leaders were arrested. It became violent, and last phase was creation of parallel government. What is parallel government? Basically, for example, we discussed in the starting of the current event class, which is the most visible face of the state. Police. We did talk about now. So parallel government, basically you can understand, these are the territories where the police cannot enter. For example, Naxalite areas. In India, we have various Naxalite areas where the police fears to go. Okay, Naxalis have parallel government there. They dispense justice through your, क्या बोलते से, I'm forgetting a technical name of that. Jan Sabha, yes, Jan Sabha. Naxalites in certain areas have Jan Sabha. In that, Gram Sabhas counter Jan Sabha. There they dispense justice, they decide the affairs and all. So they have strongholds there. The police even fear to go there. So you can understand where parallel government. In British's time, during Quit India movement, there were certain places like Balia, Satara and Tamla, where the people of that places sent away the British forces. They basically rooted out the police and civil services there, and they established their own government there. They are known parallel government. For prelims, please remember these few examples of parallel government, and most important, who founded them. That is your homework basically. How many parallel governments are there? 4 or 5 important parallel governments, and who founded them. Remember that for a prelims paper. Having done that, now I want to ask a question. Gandhi was a very staunch advocate of non-violence. Then why he supported a violent revolution? Anyone?
Because before starting the movement only, on the first day when the movement was declared, Gandhiji and other INC leaders were arrested. So Gandhiji was against that we haven't started the movement before that only you have arrested us. So now I'm not responsible if the people are getting violent. You need to handle them now.
But if we compare this with, point is right, but if we compare this with non-cooperation movement, a small incident of Chori Chora happened, a very small incident. And on that, Gandhi took back the movement. But here, full-fledged violence was there, and he was justifying the violence. He arrested this, he arrested that. But principles are something else. If Gandhi always said, "Na, I want to punish the evil, not the evildoer," then how could you justify violence? There is a person by the name of Francis Hutchins. He's a scholar. He has analyzed this and he has simply said, so I stated in the first, that Gandhi was after all a politician. So understand this. This is his analysis. In non-cooperation movement, Chori Chora incident, Gandhi understood one point, that at this point, people of India has not developed sufficient nationalism. NCM basically, in Chori Chora, Gandhi understood one thing. That's why I always praise Gandhi, because he may be a politician something, but he was a psychologist first. He understood the psychology of the masses. That's why he could command them. And that's the difference between a civil servant and a politician. You people are highly rated, but you do not become the prime minister. I've never seen a IAS kind of people becoming prime minister. A chai wala becomes the prime minister. A chai wala becomes prime minister. A common person becomes chief minister. Why? Because those people command psychology, they command the mind of the people. You people are highly literate. Yes, emotional intelligence. You people are highly literate, but you cannot command the mind. That's the difference between a leader and a civil servant. Because वरना आपके सामने उसकी औकात क्या है? एक पॉलिटिशियन की आपके सामने क्या औकात है? आप सरकार में आप 30 साल मान लेते, if you become a civil servant at the age of 30, for 30 long years you will run the government. You know every nuance, you know every hook and corner, you know every loophole. But still a politician commands you. You are a servant of a politician. Why? Because that person commands the mind. Sorry?
उसकी औकात तो पता चल जा रही थी ना जब अपन उसके सामने जाते हैं.
थोड़ा तेज बोलेंगे ज़्यादा समझ नहीं आया.
सर आप बोल रहे हो ना कि पॉलिटिशियन की औकात क्या है हमारे सामने, तो वो तो जब आप पॉलिटिशियन के सामने जाते हैं. हाँ अच्छा हाँ सर.
इंटेलिजेंस बेस कह रहा हूँ मैं, औकात इधर वैसे औकात नहीं, औकात में इंटेलिजेंस बेस है. हमसे on intelligence base you are too much literate, you know everything, still the politicians command you because they command the mind. You may have knowledge but they command the mind of the people. That is what Gandhi understood. Gandhi always understood the psychology of the masses. So in non-cooperation movement he understood one thing, that Chori, it's a very starting of the movement, first very important movement. If at this point after this violent incident, if the Britishers uses the force and the people of India are subdued, then it will break their morale. And Gandhi did not want that. That's why he was so insistent. This is Francis Hutchins analysis basically. He was so insistent to take it back. Everyone opposed this calling of a non-cooperation movement, including Nehru, a very disciple of Gandhi. But still he took it back. But here, he understood that people of India have developed nationalism to a level that at this point, if Britishers use force, it will be again a kind of revolution. Malab, samajh rahe na? He understood that people have developed sufficient nationalism. That is the argument. Clear hai Francis Hutchins ka argument, everyone? He was criticized, but he said, nah. Gandhi ki ek baat mujhe bahut pasand aati hai. Everyone fought with Gandhi. Nehru, Patel, everyone was at disagreement with Gandhi at some point of time. But still Gandhi prevailed. For example, aapka Subhash Chandra Bose. He had such a big dispute with Gandhi, he resigned basically kind of. वो movement को लेके था. He was very much critical of Gandhi. But he was the person who called him the father of the nation. That's the aura of Gandhi. And that's the aura of a politician. President था resign कर दिया था. Anyway, तो आप लोग बस मैं इसकी बारे में बात करना चाहता था. That's why I included this so that you can understand the one dimension that question may come. For example, Gandhian. It is called Quit India movement was the most un-Gandhian movement of all. Do you believe or justify? In that you can use this person, Francis Hutchins. That Francis Hutchins in his analysis has highlighted that Gandhi was after all a politician. He used non-violence as a strategic tool against the Britishers. He understood that if people will do violence, the Britishers have army, and that army can do violence at unprecedented level, and that will cow down the people. So he understood that, and when he felt in non-cooperation that it is a high time to assess, he did that. Clear, everyone? Any confusion, anything you want to ask, you can. Or again, I am saying, please read Woodrow Wilson 14 point and prepare a proper note on that. But for the 14 point, how they are related, because it's a very important part, especially in IR, but you can use those points as a footer material, a very quality based footer material in almost every GS paper. Clear? बोलिए, सब लोग ऑफलाइन चले गए क्या? चलो, अगर सब लोग तैयार हैं तो हमारे पे कौन सी न्यूज बची? 2 न्यूज बची है, जल्दी से क्लब कर देता हूँ मैं। दोनों बहुत अच्छी न्यूज। Next, Nancy Pelosi visit to Taiwan. We covered this in earlier class, current event class also. So it's an addition over that. Basically, we know Nancy Pelosi. She's the Speaker of House Congress. Congress is the name of we call Sansad, no? They call Congress. So House is the lower house. We call Lok Sabha. So she is Speaker there. She visited Taiwan. Basically, created a kind of diplomatic row, and Chinese government responded with this military strike and all around Taiwan and creating a blockade, air and naval blockade basically. So the logic was ping pong diplomacy or the one China policy. I hope you all remember what the US policy was with respect to China, one China. Yeah, in the previous class when we discussed everything, that US believed that communism is one country. Then there was a dispute between USSR and China. In 1970, US starts something called as ping pong diplomacy. Basically, US started to approach China, and it took Pakistan as a partner so that it can come near to China. And that is why in 1971 war, India and USSR was on one side, China, Pakistan, and your US was on one side, to the extent that US sent its nuclear armed ship USS Enterprise. The name was USS Enterprise to the Bay of Bengal to pressurize India. That was the support of US to Pakistan. Okay. And that context, it recognized what one China policy. This all we discussed in earlier class, a revision of that. Now I need to come here. What is India's stand? India's stand is simply mentioned here. India does not have a formal diplomatic ties with Taiwan, but we do have trade and people-to-people tie. And second thing, India does not endorse one China policy. This is the update for the earlier class. One China policy. What is one China policy? It basically simply means that China says that the Taiwan, or the real name of Taiwan, is People's Republic of China. The PRC, which became Taiwan. Sorry, Republic of China. The Republic of China, which became the Taiwan, and People's Republic of China, PRC, which became the current proper China. China simply has one policy, that the Taiwan or the Republic of China basically is the part of China proper, and there is nothing difference in that. So you can understand this. It is also the part of it. You remember we discussed in Personal Data Protection Act, in phenomena we discussed, techno-nationalism as we are calling it. It is the part and parcel of that. That's why I gave so much time to that bill. It's very important. This part and parcel, the rise of Xi Jinping as a charismatic leader in China is similar to the rise of Donald Trump to certain people in India, to Viktor Orban, Duterte. They are all, every one of those people are part and parcel of the same book. That's why देखिए China में हो क्या रहा है? Xi Jinping के time में there is aggressive nationalism in China, super aggressive nationalism. China is aggressively pushing its boundary. East China Sea, South China Sea, हर जगह आप देखेंगे China is pushing itself. Even to India, the dispute that India is witnessing in Xi Jinping is because of this. I have listed here. So this is the evolution of Chinese doctrine. The first stage The first is after Mao. Mao was the chairman or chief person in China. He ruled China for a longer time. After Mao, basic important person is Deng Xiaoping. Remember this strategy, hide and bite strategy. When Deng Xiaoping came to power, he adopted the policy of hide and bite, meaning he said that China is a developing country and we are a very powerless country. So at this point, if we will fight with somebody, then we will become even more powerless. So he said China will hide its strength and bide its time. Hide and bide means hiding the strength and biding the time. That was the strategy. And then Hu Jintao, the next president, he adopted the policy of peaceful rise. He basically said to the world that China is going to become the next superpower, but we will not fight with anyone. We will go for peaceful rise. Clear है दोनों policy, Deng Xiaoping and Hu Jintao? बोलिए guys, clear? Any question? Any one thing you want to repeat? If that is clear, then by 2010, that is stage 2 of Chinese policy. Okay. It is starting where China started to expand. We know what happened: East China Sea, South China Sea, आपका Himalayas. Third stage में one country. देखिए, this is all a beautiful concept. Remember two concepts with respect to China. One is one country, two system. It is with respect to Hong Kong. When Hong Kong was let off by the Britishers, they propounded this principle. They give Hong Kong to China on one conditionality, that Hong Kong will continue to have a democracy. China is a communist country, but Hong Kong will continue to be a functional democracy. So one country, that is Hong Kong, will be the part of China, but two systems. China has a different political system. Hong Kong has a different political system. Now by 2020, this system has virtually gone. तो अंडर देखिए, कैन यू क्रिएट पैरेलल? आप में से कोई इंडिया में इसका पैरेलल बना सकता है? वन कंट्री टू सिस्टम. कैन यू क्रिएट अ पैरेलल हियर? यस, बिल्कुल सही. Exactly. And that was the thing. So that's why I'm saying all these leaders are the part and parcel of the same phenomena that we discussed, if you remember. That Samuel P. Huntington's study we discussed in earlier class. If you are unable to remember, please revise in the class. Very, 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 very important. So same thing happened in India also. We say, no, we destroyed this one country two system. बल्कि यहाँ पे तो इतना था भी नहीं. We were a democracy. Jammu Kashmir was also a democracy. They have autonomy basically, but we have taken that back. Same thing has done by China. China has taken basically demolished this one country two system वाला logic. And now they are targeting Taiwan. ठीक है, इसमें मैंने एक टर्म लिखी है, thucydides trap. I wanted to discuss this stuff. Have you ever heard of this term in IR? Thucydides trap. कभी सुना है किसी ने? शुभम ने सुना है, ओके. बाकियों ने नहीं सुना. पढ़ा होगा. अच्छा हाँ, पॉलिटी में आई थिंक वी हैड डिस्कस्ड. पॉलिटी में शायद पढ़ा होगा. सीए में पढ़ा होगा, बिल्कुल पढ़ा होगा. एक तो इतनी सारी. अच्छा 2 weeks ago. I think that's why I say na, keep on attending current event class. It's a revision class. Okay. So thucydides trap. Let me again revise you people. Thucydides trap. Basically, this trap, Thucydides was a person who wrote a book with respect to Greek wars. He said, rising power versus bilkul said. Thucydides said, and that is known as Thucydides trap. He said when there is established power, and in current context, established power is United States of America. When there is established power, in current context, it is USA, because USA is the sole superpower. He said when there is established power and when there is an emerging power, in this case, emerging power is China, they are bound to go for a war. That is Thucydides trap. That is Thucydides trap. Basically, when there is established power and when there is a rising power, they are bound to go for a conflict, and that is known as Thucydides trap. Now, why I'm discussing this? Because in international relation, it is being taught, it is being said basically that in the US and China are basically in a Thucydidean trap. That's why China is rising and US. So, आप देख रहे हैं ना हर event. It is US, Nancy Pelosi visiting Taiwan. US every day calling China as an enemy country. For example, during Donald Trump, there was a US South Asia policy that listed clearly and US national security strategy. US national security strategy clearly listed, clear word में लिखा है that Russia and China are enemy country. Clear लिखा है, no mincing of the words. US national security strategy clearly says that Russia and China are the enemy country of US. And why this is always happening, and that is known as Thucydidean trap. Now in this there is a debate. Some says that there is a Thucydidean trap. China denies it. China always says that I am rising peacefully. There is no Thucydidean trap. And somebody is saying something. Yes, Radha?
Sir, please, I didn't understood this thing.
You do not understand Thucydidean trap? Again, let me repeat. Full. Thucydidean trap says when there is established power and when there is a rising power. अच्छा, इससे समझोगे. For example, there is a couple. Girlfriend, boyfriend. This boyfriend comes to Delhi for studies, UPSC study basically. This girlfriend gets a best friend. So best friend is rising in the hierarchy to become the boyfriend. Okay. This best friend is rising in the hierarchy to become the boyfriend. This boyfriend is studying for UPSC in Delhi, so he will get insecure. Yeah, my girl is not talking to me now. She's talking to that person a lot. That person will become insecure. So ultimately, as per Thucydidean trap, these two people will fight at a point of time. ठीक है? अब clear हो गया राधा?
अगर आप यूएस से चाइना से बता दे तो भी क्लियर हो जाता है.
क्लियर. तो यूएस चाइना कर लेते हैं. यूएस यूपीसी गया. किसका यूपीसी गया? अच्छा, ओके ओके, वो फाइट करेगा इसलिए. ठीक है, वो फाइट करेगा. he will be in the jail and ultimately it will end.
चलो, हमें तो फायदा हो जाएगा, एक कम हो जाएगा यूपीएससी.
कंपटीशन कम हो जाएगा. So that is the logic here. It says when there is established power and when there is a rising power, so at one point of time they will conflict, they will fight with each other, and war is the ultimate outcome. That is the logic. So US insists on this Thucydidean trap. US insists on this Thucydidean trap. China does not. China always says that I am rising peacefully. मैं किसी से नहीं लड़ेगा. This best friend will say I am just a best friend. But the boyfriend will be very insecure. Ultimately fight. ठीक है, clear everyone? This Thucydidean trap. Any issue? मैं सबको लोन देगा. किस बात का लोन दोगे भाई? अच्छा, हाँ, चाइना का BRI की बात कर रहे हो आप. मैं लड़ेगा नहीं, सबको लोन देगा. Always remember, there are two ways to conquer one person. Either by war. देखिए, always remember there are two ways to conquer. There are two ways to conquer a country. Either by sword, that is military, or by money. China has chosen money. That is BRI. So anyway, I hope everyone is clear. मैं सबको लोन देगा और सबको अपना नौकर बनाएगा. Already देखिए, पाकिस्तान is already has become the colony of China. And इसमें हमारा नुकसान हुआ है because India is at a two-front war scenario. चलो अफ्रीका तो शुरू दूर है, पर चाइना से हमें थोड़ा प्रॉब्लम है, पाकिस्तान से हमें प्रॉब्लम है. The thing is, because Pakistan is now this is the scenario. This is India. You're India. Here we have Pakistan. Here we have China. Now the problem that we have is if we fight with China, Pakistan will come in. If we fight with Pakistan, China will come in. Why? When we fight with Pakistan, China will say, I have invested millions of dollars in Pakistan. You are impinging on my property. We have to prepare by two front scenario. And you can blame this to particular person. IR में पढ़ा नहीं था आपको, but if I will teach IR, there is a thing called as the policy of current government has gone very bad in that context. So कोई नहीं. Clear है सबको? Second two front scenario that India is facing. ओके, बहुत थक गए, अब लास्ट न्यूज करते हैं एंड देन फाइनली वी विल रेस्ट इन नॉट पीस कर सकते हैं कुछ समय तक।
सर टाइम हो गया।
टाइम हो गया, लास्ट न्यूज कवर कर लेते हैं जल्दी से। अबॉर्शन जल्दी से कवर कर लेते हैं। Abortion basically in X versus the principal secretary, very beautiful judgment, I must say. In this judgment, Supreme Court has said that the word partner does not mean husband in case of medical termination of pregnancy. ये कब करा? ये तो अभी न्यूज आई है, कल पिछली क्लास में नहीं किया था हमने।
एक्ट आया था ना सर, उसमें तो करा था ना।
क्या हुआ था?
एक्ट आया था ना, अमेंडमेंट हुई थी अबॉर्शन एक्ट।
हाँ, उसी के बारे में बता रहा हूँ, अमेंडमेंट के कॉन्टेक्स्ट में किया था, पर हाँ अमेंडमेंट हम कर चुके हैं, ये एडिशन है उसके ऊपर। जैसे हमने नैन्सी पेलोसी वाली करी, उसके ऊपर एडिशन करा है, आपका टू कॉन्सेप्ट और ये ड्रामा थीसिस, इट इज एन एडिशन टू प्रीवियस करंट इवेंट क्लास। The addition, that the new addition is this very good addition, I must say, very beautiful addition. That act has been made, that we discussed in earlier class. This part we discussed in earlier class, that under this new act, Justice is a beautiful person. Yeah, I am waiting for him to become CGI. Medical Termination of Pregnancy Act, basically in this they have provided that contraceptives, failure of contraceptive, rape, incest, minor women can go for abortion, not just married women. But there was a problem of 20 weeks. You can go up to 20 weeks. For 20 weeks to 24, it is allowed only and only for married women. Again, a stupid record by the Sarkar. You understand, because in parliament, majority of the people are men. That's why I say women representation in parliament must increase. Because parliament represents the Indian society. And if women are not more in the parliament, then men will keep on making laws for women. And most of the time, they will make stupid laws. Because they understand their feeling, they should make their laws. Representation is very important. Anyway, Supreme Court has said that in the act, they use the word partner, not husband. So that act basically applies to unmarried. This is the news. Very good news. It is an addition to previous current event. Again, let me repeat. The act says partner, not husband. Because the word is not husband, then unmarried woman can also carry out abortion up till 24 weeks, not only married women. Clear है news? Very good addition. Anyway. राधा भाई, चलो सबको क्लियर है, ये न्यूज थी, जल्दी से रैप अप किया, बाकी यू कैन रीड हियर। और इसमें अच्छा एक पॉइंट तो बहुत प्यारा याद है क्या, ये दिखाता है कि इंडियन जुडिशरी इज प्रोग्रेसिव। देखिए यूएस सुप्रीम कोर्ट रूलिंग वी डिस्कस इन अर्लियर करंट इवेंट, इफ यू रिमेंबर, they have done away with this abortion at federal level, and we, the people of the India, the Supreme Court, it's a very good thing. US is regressing and we all know why US is. अब इसे आप कैसे combine करेंगे? Combine this with that study with it, with that study Christian religion, yes, Christianity, and we know we are living in a time where, if you remember Samuel P. Huntington's we talk about in earlier class, because of the globalization, various cultures are coming together, and there is assertion of Christianity in USA, the way there is assertion of Hinduism in India. But it's a good thing. I'm telling you, in Hinduism, there is no issue with respect to abortion. If in Hinduism, the way Christianity deals with abortion, if Hinduism deals with abortion, we would also have abortion issue in India. So that's why I'm saying again, repeating that personal data protection in an earlier current event class is very, very important. By that, you can understand almost all the issues, society, economy, polity. Even this issue is linked to that. Because phenomena wahi hai. These are symptoms. The cause is that study we did in the earlier current event class, the Samuel P. Huntington's. Chalo, anyway, clear? कोई question है तो पूछो. नहीं है? पक्का? ब्लॉक कर दे.
आज सर आपका दादा बढ़ाने का मन हो रहा है क्या?
देखो पूरा खत्म कर दिया मैंने, ऐसे पहली बार हुआ है पता हमारा करंट इवेंट में कि मैंने पूरी पीडीएफ खत्म करी, वरना खत्म ही नहीं हो पा रही थी. अच्छा हुआ, ऐसे ही होगा जैसे हम मूव करेंगे ना आगे, तो हमारा पाइल अप होता जाएगा और पाइल अप से जल्दी खत्म होगी पीडीएफ. चलो एनीवे, हैव अ ग्रेट डे एवरीवन, एंजॉय योर वीकेंड एंड कीप योर लाइफ बैलेंस्ड. मजे भी, पढ़ाई भी. Have a nice day. We'll meet. Or good news again repeating, we will have current doubt class for all the batches I have taught. Dedicated doubt class every week. ठीक है? वहाँ पे करते रहेंगे हम.